Hi everybody, I'm Chris Watson, and welcome to this edition of the NYSPHSAA Captains Club, presented by the New York State Correctional Officers and Police Benevolent Association. Today we're at Siena College to introduce you to a former Section 5 high school basketball star. Margot Hetzke is Penfield High School's all-time leading scorer. She had tremendous success early in her collegiate career, a career that was cut short by injuries. Despite all of that, she has maintained her incredibly positive attitude. There are people in this world whose sole motivation when it comes to sports is hating to lose. Margot Hetzke is the opposite of those people.
I think I like competition a lot. I love winning. I love to win. It is so much fun to win. Whatever it is, I don't care if it's a board game or what.
I realized in practice she scored a lot and never lost. Margot never lost. In a year and a half, she never lost a drill in practice. I think that says a lot.
It takes a special kind of player and person to have that kind of determination. And from an early age, Margot was always challenging herself.
Even when I was a little kid, my grandpa used to call me Margot the Mover, Margot the Cargo, because I'd pick chairs up and move them around as a 2-year-old. So I like hard work. I like that in school, on the court. It's really enjoyable to see results afterwards.
And it was her grandfather, a first-generation American immigrant from Norway, who inspired that hard work. Her grandparents overcame and endured to succeed in this country. They are her inspiration, and her college coach saw what made Margot special.
Margot was one of the strongest players I've ever coached. Physically, loved hitting, loved getting hit. Very cerebral and smart player as well. Wasn't necessarily fast, but found ways, to take charges or to be a great rebounder or to just be smarter than whoever she was playing against. So she had great coaching, and this just isn't magic. She worked. Margot would be in the gym working on her game, getting extra shots up, watching film, learning every chance she got. So, don't take away from the fact that this kid really worked very hard to be the player that she was.
As a sophomore in high school, Margot was part of a Penfield team that played for the Class AA State Championship in 2012.
States was amazing. I mean, I think being so young on the team, I started playing varsity in 8th grade, but being young, you're only a 10th grader. So I don't think I realized how cool it was because I had 2 more years at it.
Her team was undefeated that season. They faced Cicero North Syracuse in the finals, a CNS team that was led by the #1 high school basketball player in the country at the time, Breanna Stewart. Stewart would go on to be one of the most decorated basketball players in history, leading UConn to 4 straight national titles and winning 4 Tournament Most Outstanding Player awards. So it never crossed Margot's mind that Breanna Stewart would know who she was.
Breanna Stewart remembered my name and I was like, I can quit now. I'm gonna leave. She wouldn't remember it today, but she remembered it then. And that experience, and we actually held her to, I think she scored 13 points. She had like 16, 20 blocks, something like that. It came out in the paper. And I think my dad's favorite picture of me playing basketball ever is a picture of me going up for a layup against Breanna Stewart, and my face is like in her stomach. It's me about to get my shot swatted, and Dad is like, check this out, everybody's got to see it.
Dads have a special way of keeping you grounded. As her high school career was winding down and she knew playing Division I college hoops was an option, she chose Siena College, outside Albany, not only for its athletics, but for its academics. And when it came to basketball, her college career couldn't have got off to a better start.
It was an amazing game. I don't know really what my thoughts were. All I remember before the game was talking to Brian McElroy, one of our trainers, and I mentioned to him that I'm way too excited right now and I need to calm down. And he said, no, ride that wave. So I was like, all right, that's what we'll do. And then it just kind of worked.
Margot played 36 of the game's 40 minutes. She scored 29 points and grabbed 11 rebounds.
I didn't realize it was that much at first. I didn't realize that, I knew that I was playing well or way better than I thought because I really thought that I was going to go in and come out pretty much right away. Like, I'll mess up and then I'll be sitting on the bench and no more pressure. But that wasn't how it went.
She continued to dominate her freshman year. She won the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Rookie of the Year award. She averaged just under 13 points and 7 rebounds per game. She had become a star at Siena. But for someone who was always trying to get better, to push herself to the next level, success was not easily received.
I wish I had known at the time to still appreciate those things. That now I can look back and be really grateful for that and kind of say, okay, I was pretty good. But at the time, I didn't enjoy it enough.
She was focused on exceeding expectations in her second year, both as an individual player and with her Siena teammates. Things changed 10 games into her sophomore season.
I don't actually remember really getting hit. I've seen the tape of getting hit since, and that's my memory of getting hit. I don't remember playing afterwards, and I guess I told coach I was fine, and I'm fine, keep me in, which was Margot talking. But so immediately after, I really did not know how bad it was going to be.
She didn't want to come out. In fact, she made her free throws, and she didn't look right. And we took her out of the game. Trainer looked at her, didn't think it would have the lasting effects that it did.
And the effects would cost her the rest of the year. She would not play again as a sophomore, but the effects of the concussion reached well past basketball.
Concussions are tough because you can't have a trainer look at you and watch how you're moving. You know, you go through hip surgery and they can tell this is how you're walking, so this is really where you're at right now. But concussions are different. And I think I actually benefited in ways because I'm a female, that I could turn to people and say, I'm really emotionally having a hard time. And I think young men who go through the same thing may not feel like they have that luxury. And yet it's not less important. And the headaches are a big deal. All of that, the physical symptoms that don't relate to the psychological side of a concussion matter. And those are things that I think we are more willing to share, whether it's a trainer or a doctor.
The concussion took its toll on all aspects of her life: sports, friends, and school. She wasn't able to focus on her academics like she was used to.
Watching one of your student athletes academically who is an achiever, a high achieving kid, watching one of your student athletes not be able to study really brings some aha moment to the entire situation, because the air runs out of the basketball, and then what's left?
But it did teach me to stop and recognize what you have done well, because all of a sudden you have to get used to small victories. And a small victory might be, today I completed a homework assignment in only twice as much time as it was supposed to take, or that kind of thing.
She worked to get back on the court, knowing that once the concussion symptoms were gone, she could play again. But during that time, she began to have hip pain that would require surgery, and that would delay her return to the court even more and cost her the start of her junior season.
She's just an old school, great, warm-hearted person. And to see that light flicker a little bit and for her not to be herself is really scary. It was scary.
Even though basketball wasn't there, and even though I couldn't participate in things that were really hard not to participate in, more than anything I wanted to be Margot again.
And when it came to trying to get back to normal from the concussion, there were other things she needed to deal with too.
One of the things that people don't talk a lot about with concussions is depression. You want to sleep a lot and you don't feel good, and you wake up, and I would wake up and I couldn't stop crying. I'd wake up and nothing had happened yet all day. I just woke up from 14 hours of sleep. I should feel great, and I'd start crying in my room, and I'd call Mom and I'd say, I don't know why I can't stop crying. And she'd be like, it's okay, have some breakfast, try to read. And then I couldn't read, so I'd start crying again.
Through it all, Margot kept thinking about her return to basketball. It was her motivation, getting back on the court and playing again. And she did, midway through her junior season. But during a game at Iona, when she wasn't hit or knocked down with no contact, her concussion symptoms returned, and her coach knew she would likely never play again.
It was really hard for me because she's such a physical player that you don't inevitably, I had to feel complete confidence in her, and she had to feel that complete confidence from me, I think, to get back on the court.
I wish I could take little pieces of my brain and put them into the brains of my teammates, because I really hope that they never go through nearly what happened for me. I hope their experience is very different, but I think it taught me to take things day by day.
So that was it. With 1 year left in school, Margot Hetzke's playing career was over. Because of concussions and bad hips, she would never suit up again. She stayed with the team as a student assistant coach, but that wasn't easy either.
I didn't expect it to be so hard. I expected, you know what, I've done this for a couple of years now, I know what it's like to be injured. It's different when you have the carrot saying, but you might get back, you might heal up. And I didn't expect it to be such a challenge.
When your career is taken away from you and it's not by your choice, there is, I feel like, a grieving process almost, because you've dedicated so much of your life to that sport and that love.
But Margot learned how to pick her friends and teammates up when they needed it most.
It's hard to come in every day and work for 3.5 hours a day and go and take a test at 6 and you got out at 5:35. You got to shower so you don't stink for 3 hours, and you want to eat because you haven't eaten since 2 in the afternoon, 1 in the afternoon. It's a lot. And turning to teammates and saying, yeah, that is a lot, but you could do it. When you have more energy than them because you're no longer playing. And being willing to give that energy to other people is something people can do when they're on the sideline.
Life is about relationships and the moments you share with other people. Margot has given that back tenfold.
She came in her freshman year and she was like, Coach, when you recruited me, it was really important that, you know, we have a relationship, so we need to work on our relationship. Okay, because I've got 15 other kids I'm worried about, but hey, I agree. Let's work on our relationship. What's that entail? 45 minutes a day of just sitting across the desk and talking to each other, going out to lunch? Like, what does that mean? But she's totally right. You get so wrapped up in the you know, rat race of life sometimes, to be able to have that kind of a relationship with one of your players and to understand each other and what makes each other tick. It's pretty cool when I look back on it.
Before the start of her senior season, it was one of the toughest times of her life. But during that time, she was engaged to her boyfriend, Sam Hunt. They'll be married in June of 2018. Anyone who has met Margot Hetzke can't forget her. She has a profound impact on people's lives. It's just the kind of person that she is.
All I can do is be grateful for the lessons I learned from her and from her family. And I know I'm a better coach because I had the chance to coach her. She had an impact on me.
As you can tell, Margot Hetzke has been through a lot in her young life. She says her positive attitude, her family, and her faith carried her through the tough times. She will graduate from Siena College in May with a dual degree in biology and psychology. For the NYSPHSAA Captains Club, presented by the New York State Correctional Officers and Police Benevolent Association, I'm Chris Watson. We'll see you next time.